Hi, I'm here with Jackson Seagroves, who's the Trading Post Chairman for Okinichi Lodge 104, which is headquartered in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we're here at the tradery that you guys are putting on, and one of the things I've noticed, you guys are super organized when it comes to your trading post. And I've talked to some of the other advisors, and they've sort of talked about how your trading post is really unique in how you all do things. So I was thinking maybe you could just share with us, as an example to other lodges, how you guys run your trading post and what kind of happens on a typical weekend for an order-of-the-arrow function.
Yeah, so I think the main thing that helps us keep organized in the trading post is our point-of-sale system. So we use a QuickBooks point-of-sale system interface between a laptop, and we have other laptops that we can use if we want to do 2 or 3 laptops at the same time. It all works, and all the inventory syncs up together at once. So if you sell one patch at one computer, it'll deduct it from the inventory no matter where the other computers are. And it's really beneficial because we get the patches. If we buy 500 patches, put them in the inventory, at the end of the weekend we get a very accurate number of how many we sold. We put in the unit cost for each one, so we get our marginal revenue for each patch sold, which is really good because we don't have to go and count in the closet each time after each event to figure out how many we sold and how many we need to order each time. So it's very, very simple to go through with a few button clicks and just get a really accurate estimate on all of our numbers. And it works with barcodes, so if we buy a patch from a supplier, they can put a barcode on the back and we can just buzz it in real quick.
And I understand you all also have your card readers for taking credit cards?
Yeah, I actually have, so we use Square Card Reader, which hooks right up to our Trading Post account. So if somebody wants to pay with the plastic, I just open the app on my smartphone, put in the price, swipe it. As long as it has an internet connection, it goes through, and it works really well.
Okay. And then also, tell us about a typical order-of-the-arrow weekend. I understand you guys sort of show up early and get everything ready. And how long is this Trading Post open for?
So usually, if an event starts around 6 or 7 Friday night for the whole weekend, Trading Post staff will get there 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon to start setting everything up in the Trading Post, get new inventory entered into the system, figure out how we're going to do pricing and everything. And then by the time we're ready to open, we usually open, if dinner's at 6:30, we'll open right after dinner, open until maybe 10. And then Saturday, we're open almost the whole weekend, or the whole day. So as soon as breakfast is done until lunch, break for lunch, come back, we're open after lunch until dinner, go to dinner, and then we're open all night until nobody's really wanting to buy anything else. And then Sunday, we're not open, we just pack up and
go home.
Leave.
But at that point, everyone's had
everybody's had plenty of opportunity to get what they want.
All right, so another question in terms of how other lodges may be different. You've described a Trading Post staff. Can you kind of tell us how you guys have that organized? What's your model there? So
I'm the head of the Trading Post Committee, and we work very closely with the Patch Committee. We're both, I wouldn't say either one of us is above each other. We're basically the same unit. The Patch advisor works really close with the Trading Post advisor and vice versa, and the Patch Committee chairman and myself work very closely together. They design the patches, and we're in charge of selling them. And then under us, we have kind of the joint Patch and Trading Post Committee, which entails of all the people that come help us set up, sell, do all different types of jobs, running errands around camp. We have people selling stuff for us, and we have people designing patches for us. This past event, we created a new committee under us, which is the Concessions Committee. So I would be in charge of doing drinks and snacks and stuff, selling through the kitchen during events. But now I have another committee under me, so I don't have to worry about that. So they, excluding all the meals and stuff, we have a little cooler and kitchen, so we sell hot dogs and drinks and stuff. So we have him, and he has his own little committee too now, kind of a subcommittee under us.
Right. Well, it sounds like you guys have found a way for everybody to kind of have a job and a role, which is important in order-of-the-arrow. If you show up and nobody needs you at an event, you're not really going to come back.
And it definitely, splits the responsibility up. When I first started, we didn't have the point of sale, or we had a point of sale system, but it was very kind of convoluted, and it was a lot of responsibility on one position. And what I've tried to do is kind of spread the burden out for everybody, so not one person is kind of going crazy all weekend.
Right. And what is a typical weekend for you guys? I mean, you guys take this very seriously. So, I mean, are you selling $5,000 worth of stuff, or what kind of?
On a slow weekend, we probably bring in $16,000 to $17,000.
Wow.
Now that's just gross. This past conclave, we brought in around $33,000, $34,000. So it kind of varies depending on if it's a big like ordeal weekend or if it's a smaller gathering weekend.
I'm sure someone watching this video would kind of wonder, okay, well, if you're able to get those kind of numbers, how many people are coming to a typical event? Because their lodge may be smaller, maybe not, you know.
We have, I don't even know how many people we usually have. 300 to 400. I don't know
okay.
a good estimate on that. And, you know, that fluctuates also. And we can definitely see, you know, the events we have, you know, 450 people, there's definitely a really big increase in stuff. And the smaller ones, you know, it's definitely proportional to how many people show up.
Sure. And another question people might have is, if you're raising that kind of money every event, then what is the lodge doing with the money? Like, is there like a dedicated project, or, you know, what's the purpose of all the fundraising?
So a lot of the fundraising for this weekend, we're selling a lot of patches for NOAC. So we're selling, you know, a delegate patch, a trader patch, donor patch, all these patches for NOAC, which goes, all the profit from that is going to go to defray the cost of NOAC for our contingent. So, you know, if we sell $5,000 worth of stuff and we have 50 people going, it's going to decrease their cost by $100. Some patches are specifically sold to fundraise for certain events. So we've had patches to fund, you know, our new dining hall, which is behind the camera, or, you know, different events that we put on. We have a 50-miler patch that helps fundraise that. And then the rest of the stuff is just going towards, you know, buying more merchandise, obviously, but coming up with new ideas for stuff. We always try and come out with new patches and new, just like merchandise event for every year at least. So not only do we sell patches, we have, you know, T-shirts, polos, Columbia shirts, jackets, hoodies, sweatshirts, you know, laptop bags, backpacks. We just have a new thing. We have a new knife that's got our logo on it, little tripod camp stool. So some things we try and they really, really work really well. Some things that I thought would sell really well, you know, don't sell at all. So
a lot of lodges are very particular about, you know, to make a patch, it's like an act of God. I mean, they argue about it and fuss about it and stuff. It seems like you guys must have sort of uncorked that debate. So what's the decision-making power for deciding to make a camp stool or a knife or a NOAC fundraising flap in Okinichi? How does those get made?
So it depends on a couple things. If we use the Thunderbird logo, we have to bring it before our EC and get it approved. And usually 99% of the time there's no problem whatsoever. They know that the trading post is there to raise money for all of our events and stuff. And without the trading post, we wouldn't have nice things. So for most of the part, everybody's fine with a camp stool or a shirt having the stuff on. Patches, the way we usually do it, our patch committee will design a patch, bring it before the EC. If they like it, great, they'll give us go ahead. For things like NOAC and Conclave, we usually let people submit patch designs, and so we'll have 5 to 7 different designs, and we'll go before the EC, show everybody all the patches, and then we'll usually narrow it down to 2, and then we'll vote, and whoever's patch design gets chosen, that's the one that we make.
Right. Well, I really like your model, though. It's still youth-led. The youth and the executive committee make the decisions, but then it sounds like once a decision is made, they hand it off to a well-organized committee that's going to take it from there and make it happen. So that way you've got the committee set up really makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you so much for interviewing. I hope other lodges will think about this, Jackson.
Yeah, and I hope this helps anybody that's looking to get more organized or start a trading post.